Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome back into MedStar Capitals Iceplex for another edition of Rink Report Live. Joined alongside John Walton and Tarek El-Bashir. I'm Katie Florio, here with you for one final week of hockey, or I guess I should say we hope it's more than just that, because it has been an incredible week for the Capitals. They have played themselves still in the thick of this playoff race, coming down to game 82 at Columbus on Tuesday night. But first, guys, we have to get into what was an incredible day yesterday at Capital One Arena. Alex Ovechkin, of course, we do not know whether or not this will be his final year, but the crowd made sure, if it is, they were going to send him out on an incredible note yesterday. John, we will start with you. Everything about that day was so incredible, from the face-off to the ovations to the one more year chance, things like that. For you, a guy that you have covered for over 15 years now, just describe the emotions of everything in your broadcast booth yesterday.
I figured out pretty quickly, Katie, that I'm not emotionally ready for this. I realized that in Pittsburgh, and walking in and all of the moments that have happened in Pittsburgh at PPG Paints Arena and have happened at Capital One, and all of the goals that he scored and all the playoff moments and the Stanley Cup and everything else. You know, you realize it's coming. I think in the back of all of our minds, we know that this is coming at some point. Even if he says one more year, you know it's coming. But when you are faced with it and walking into PPG Paints on Saturday, Tarek, to be able to all the playoff games, and you know, whether it was Nick Bonino or Evgeny Kuznetsov, there's been a lot that's gone on in that building over the years, and Alex has been front and center for all of it, and so has Sidney Crosby. And now you see this outpouring of emotion from Pittsburgh fans. That got to me. And then watching what our fans did, and that got to me. And just even doing two-man advantage with Vokes yesterday, I'm like, man, like I don't even want to talk about this. Yeah. Like, I've got to get myself together here, because this is obviously very emotional for all of us.
Yeah, you know, I'm not an emotional guy either. And I wasn't in Pittsburgh, but I was there last night, and I was juggling quite a bit, running around doing different things for the TNT broadcast. So it didn't really hit me until I got into my car for the long drive home to Annapolis. And I started thinking about all the moments, and having been there from day one at the draft in Carolina in 2004, and the ups and downs, and then all the trophies and the Stanley Cup and the goal record, and it just kind of all hit me, and I was like, man, this really could be coming to an end. I hope it isn't, but it might be. And you know, I turned the radio off, and I just kind of thought about it for a good 30 minutes, and you know, I would say I teared up, because I didn't, but you know, I definitely was overcome with emotion a couple times, where I was like, wow, it really is. I have covered this guy for
more than 20 years.
For more than 20 years, for 90% of my career, it's been writing about or talking about Alex Ovechkin, and that sometime soon could be coming to an end. Yeah.
And I think, to add on what was already such an emotional weekend, for the Pittsburgh Penguins to be the team that capped off this weekend. Credit to Pittsburgh, because I know, John, you were there
in person. The NHL for scheduling it this way.
Absolutely. A very smart thing to do, because not only do you have the Alex Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby rivalry, but classy on the Penguins for everything they did on Saturday to honor Alex Ovechkin. And when Sidney Crosby decides to hang it up, I'm sure the Capitals will do the same, because it is incredible that you can see two fan bases that don't like each other, a rival that's been more than 20 years long, but they recognize greatness, and they recognize that Alex Ovechkin is the epitome of that greatness. The rivalry between Ovechkin and Crosby also stands for that. So, John, back to you, being in there in person. Once again, what did it mean for Pittsburgh to be able to do what they did to honor Ovi this week?
It's a matter of respect, and I think that
great word.
Now that we are here, I mean, if you would have said that in 2016, you know, their fan base wants to go at it with our fan base, and the teams hate each other, and the rivalry between Sid and Ovi, and Pittsburgh wins the way they do in 16, and then they do in 17, and then Evgeny Kuznetsov, in my mind, will always be the greatest moment in team history.
Your greatest call of all time, too.
Thank you. But being able to remember that, and all of the things that went through that period of time. I mean, look, I know, Katie, you're a lot younger than we are, but back in 2005, I mean, you're coming off a lockout of 1 year, and the NHL was not in a good place. The NHL's never been in a better place than it is right now.
Yeah.
But
look at the salary cap.
And Sidney saved this game.
They did.
You know, we're coming back after a 1 year absence, no Stanley Cup playoffs, no regular season. It was a tumultuous time. And these two guys right here.
The Penguins were on the verge of bankruptcy. I mean, like they
Penguins
were
almost moved to Kansas City.
They were almost moving. Yeah,
they were ready to pack up and leave if they didn't get a new building, and they were on their way out of Pittsburgh. I mean, there were a lot of things that were happening 20-some years ago. And Sidney Crosby, much like Mario Lemieux, I mean, comes in and kind of puts the franchise, back to where it needed to be. And with Mario the first time. And for Alex, it was making D.C. a hockey town, and the two of them together.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing for me, is that they both in lockstep. And we didn't, in the moment, maybe they didn't even realize it until now you get 20 years later. And you look at it and say, okay, Alex is sometime soon not going to be playing anymore. And not long after, Sidney Crosby is going to follow him out the door. What they did, what the city of Pittsburgh, what Washington, D.C., the two best teams, by and large, over 20 years. The Capitals, 7 division titles just on my time here. A couple of President's trophies, a Stanley Cup, everything that happened. That's just on the Washington side. More cups for Pittsburgh. They have almost as many division titles, too. I mean, they were the best. Yeah. And they were the best players and the best teams.
I think about the evolution of the relationship between Pittsburgh fans and Alex Ovechkin, because remember back in the Igloo how much they hated him back when Ovi was kind of a little bit of the villain, right? And maybe even for the whole league. Because he was different. He was something they had never seen before. He got booed every time he touched the puck. And I'll never forget that. They used to have a sign on the wall at the Igloo that said "Stuffed Oven Chicken." Remember that? Yeah. It was like right above where the Capitals shot twice. And so to watch, to think back to the fact that they used to boo him every time he touched the puck, and then to see that rousing ovation.
And 895 last year too. Last day of the year in Pittsburgh, they did the same thing.
And I love the word. It's respect. It's real recognizing real. It's guys. It's fans who know they have one of the greatest of all time, recognizing that that guy over there in the red, he's also one of the greatest of all time. And I think it kind of mirrors the evolution of the relationship between Ovi and Sid too.
100%.
It was incredibly chilly early on. And to see them now, embracing, taking pictures, exchanging jerseys, signing autographs for one another, it really just warms the heart. And man, when this game doesn't have those two guys, it's gonna be a hard day to reckon with.
Comes here for the last time, everyone should be standing too, and they will.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Because there is Ovi and Sid together made this game what it is right now today, which is the greatest game in the world, and the business side of it has never been better too, in large part because of them.
Yeah.
Well, John, it's been just about a week since Alex Ovechkin sat down with you and clearly said he will not be making his decision until the summer. But with that comes speculations, every little thing. Okay, him taking the opening face-off last night, is that speculation? You could dissect everything right now, but I think the biggest thing since yesterday was him waving off Pittsburgh when they came over at the end of the game to shake their hand. I know that was led by Sidney Crosby as well, but even he said after the game, we don't
know. I love that.
In true Alex Ovechkin
so
fashion. But I think too it speaks to the fact that Carberry telling us before the game whether he's made up his mind or not, and we are told he has not made up his mind. He doesn't want this to be about him. Everything with Ovi is a team effort. So whether he was thinking in his head, this isn't my last time, he doesn't want that attention. But again, kudos to Pittsburgh and Sidney Crosby for even thinking of the idea. But I know a lot of fans speculated. So John, what'd you think about that at the end?
Spencer Carberry said it exactly right after the game. He said, look, we might see these guys in a week.
Yeah.
You might. I mean, you need a little bit of help from the Philadelphia Flyers falling down to Carolina and Montreal, and we're going to get to that. But if the Caps win in Columbus tomorrow and the Flyers lose twice, guess where we're going to be next weekend? We're going right back to Pittsburgh. So from a team standpoint, listen, we've had our moment, we've had our fun, we've had our picture at center ice, we did all that pregame, but right now, hey, we beat you, we're in the hunt, we're still in the playoffs, we're going to Columbus, and we'll get to that later. And I think that's the ultimate team move, too.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that was Ovi saying, hey, I'm coming back. I know people like to read into things. I think that was very much exactly what Coach Carb said, I'm not ready. We are still alive. We are the Cockroach Caps. We are still fighting to get into the playoffs. And, oh, by the way, if this works out, we're going to be at PPG Paints Arena in a few days, ready for Game 1. So he wasn't ready for that. And, look, I continually check in with people in and around Ovi. I interviewed him a couple times yesterday. I have a pretty good sense for when someone has made up their mind but isn't ready to tell the world, and when someone just hasn't made up their mind. I think he legit kind of goes back and forth. I think he's conflicted. I don't think he knows what he wants to do. And I think what he's doing is really wise, telling everyone that I'm going to wait until the summer to make up my mind. And that's going to allow him to kind of disconnect from the emotion and everything that's gone into this season and to kind of make a clear-headed decision, because you can't put the toothpaste back into the tube. Once you say you're done, you're retired, like that's it. And if you're going back and forth now, give yourself enough time to go talk to your trusted advisors and your family and just really reflect on it. Go to Dubai or Moscow and just find a beach. I know there's no beaches in Moscow, but find a beach.
Slightly landlocked.
The geography challenge, Tarek El-Bashir, everybody.
And just, spend some time talking to Nastya and to Tatiana and maybe some of his business associates and go, what does that look like? What does that feel like? And at some point he'll have to have a long, hard, and frank conversation with Chris Patrick and Spencer Carberry. If I do come back next year, what does that look like?
And by the draft, by the end of June, we're going to know.
Yeah.
We're going to know. He's not going to stand in the way of business for this team.
He's not. And look, if he does want to come back, this team has so much cap space. It wouldn't even really unless he asked for $15 million. It wouldn't handicap them to for him to negotiate a fair deal for 1 year.
We call that Tarek money around here.
Yeah, I mean, you would still have enough money to go get what you needed, and so I think he has a lot of soul searching.
I didn't have any sense when we talked as if there was one way or the other. Exactly what you said. It was very straightforward. I liked in Pittsburgh after the game, we're asking him about, Mike Vogel's there and Tom Galiti was there, and we're talking to him, and there was a young Pittsburgh enterprising young reporter trying to press a button a little bit. Shut that down right now. I was like, we're not doing that. I already said it. This is what we're doing. Yeah. And I think that's true. I think that's absolutely what it is. I don't think there is a decision, and we'll find out when he has the time, and he's certainly earned it.
He's going out on his terms, and he has every right to do so. But regardless, it was a very special day at Capital One Arena yesterday, and we'll hear from several Capitals players, his teammates, on the day.
It was fun. It was like a playoff atmosphere. It was electric. It was, I think the best word to use for it is just fun. Those are games that you want to play in, and obviously, it's a little more emotional with Ovi and kind of not knowing the future. But it was just it was awesome to see how loud the crowd was for him and how much the city of DC really loves him.
Yeah, I mean, he's still throwing the body. I guess he's going for the hits record still, so he's a machine. I love the guy. So proud of the way that he's just every night he steps up in a different way. So it's been so fun to be a part of. Obviously, a great rivalry with the Pens, and I think we're all hoping he keeps going. It was a good one for him tonight.
The fans always support me, support organization, team, boys, and it was loud. It was the energy what we need, and you can see how the boys playing.
Logan Thompson, Tom Wilson, and Alex Ovechkin himself. And guys, I think what made the day even sweeter yesterday is the fact that the Capitals still have something to play for. 3 weeks ago, and 2 weeks ago, let's be honest, we said that playoffs were a far cry. And here we are getting ready for game 82 tomorrow. Of course, the Caps need some help tonight, but they are still in this, and that is because of the success that they have had. So let's start with the game tomorrow in Columbus. It is a must-win for the Capitals, but Philadelphia, my oh my, I don't know if I have ever had my eyes on the Philadelphia Flyers as much as I have this week, nor do I ever think I'd say the words I'm rooting for the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. But guys, when you look,
that doesn't roll off the tongue.
No,
it really doesn't. But when you look at the standings and you think back to October, game 1, game 2, to think that it comes down to the last game. I know you guys saw this 2 years ago as well, but I don't even want to say how do you think it's going to play out. Just what is your raw reaction of truly every point, every game? When we're in the dog days of January, you think back to that, every single game mattered.
You know what I think back to? I think back to the games that the Caps should have won.
Yeah.
I think back to the Vancouver games.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, and I'm like,
right.
If you had just figured a way to beat the worst team in the league, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Matters, as it turns out.
But I will say what makes me hopeful that maybe they're able to pull this out is the fact that they are going down swinging. I love the fact that after the trade deadline, that first game against Boston, I think they might have pouted a little bit, didn't play well. Since then, they've been one of the best teams in the league. And they're fighting for each other. They're fighting for their coaching staff. And I think that speaks to, and we've mentioned this before, the culture that's been built here by Alex Ovechkin during his era. These guys are not going to go quietly into the night. I mean, they are going to leave it all out there, and they have over this last couple of weeks. Hopefully the Hurricanes see fit to do us a solid tonight. What do you think?
That would be nice.
I hope they don't rest guys. I'll be so mad.
You know what? I look at this group. We hear a lot about character. We hear a lot about culture. We hear a lot about these guys going to bat for one another. They talk about it a lot. We talk about it a lot. But if you want evidence of that, to your point, what's happened since the trade deadline? These guys could have packed it in. They didn't. And you know what? Even after let's go all the way back to last weekend. They got the brakes beat off them in New York, and everybody hated what went on in that game. And they still came out the other side. That's character. Yeah. That is determination. Yeah. That is playing for the guy next to you. Look, they may make it, and they may not. We may go to our bar in Columbus tonight to watch the game, and we find a Philadelphia 6-1 win, and they're done. Maybe that happens. Let's hope it doesn't. Let's hope they can live to fight to the very last day tomorrow.
Is that where we watched the Nationals playoff game one time?
No, that was in St. Louis. You weren't even in the same city. But that's it.
Geography Tarek, again.
Listen, we're going to do a whole new show on Monumental, Geography with Tarek, and it's going to get numbers.
I swear we watched a National playoff game in Columbus.
No, we did not. Okay. We watched in Nashville.
I retract that statement.
Okay. Well,
carry on.
Thank you. The basis of this is that for me, when you see the young guys contributing, when you see what Ilya Protas has done, when you see what Cole Hudson has done, when they are getting a taste of not only the culture, but the fact that these are high pressure, we're trying to make the Stanley Cup playoffs, what a proving ground this is. Yeah. To be able to give these guys, I do care. I want to see them in. I want to be in Pittsburgh next weekend. But even if they're not, I say what these guys are getting right now is invaluable. It's just like when they got in on the last day and they ended up playing the Rangers. They lost 4 straight, they were out, and you almost forgot that they were in. They were gone so quick. But it didn't matter because that was a playoff, the first taste for Alexei Protas. What'd he do next year? 30 goals.
Connor
McMichael, same thing. I mean, you've got the guys who use that experience to good effect. So we're going to see that next year. But when you have a guy like Tom Wilson, when you have what he had handed down to him by the Ovechkins, Backstroms, Oshis, and the rest, that, to me, is what Washington Capitals hockey is all about.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that it's secondary to me if they get in. I mean, it's a coin flip. We're going to see what happens tonight, and we see what happens tomorrow. I hope it happens. But even if it doesn't, this is so stable and so long-lasting moving forward because of the folks they've drafted. Not just good players, but good people. The Protas family, my goodness. I mean, some of the best people you're ever going to run across. I mean, Ilya interviews, just watch an Ilya Protas interview, and you're going to love the kid immediately if you haven't seen one yet. This is long-lasting. I can't wait. I hope it happens, but even if it doesn't, we're in good hands.
I think you're going to look back at this last few weeks since Cole Hudson joined the team, or again, whether they make the playoffs or not, and you're going to go, that was the moment where that young group kind of found their game, and their learning curve really got accelerated, and that was a key moment in the development of these young guys to get ready for that next year.
You know what else is a key moment? Alex Ovechkin was part of their first big moments on the ice, and that handing of the torch, I love that stuff.
Love it.
So to break it down, the Capitals have to win in Columbus tomorrow night, and Philadelphia has to lose their final 2 games. They have to lose to Carolina tonight, and then Montreal has to beat them tomorrow. I believe one of those can be a loss past regulation because the Capitals would have the tiebreaker. But again, Caps win, Philly loses. That is what we are praying for the final 2 games of the regular season. But guys, going back to the young ones, Capitals wouldn't even be in this position right now. We wouldn't even all be glued to the Philadelphia Flyers on TV tonight had it not been for the way this team has stepped up in the past week or so. Logan Thompson, we talk about every show because he went 3-0 with 2 shutouts. But to your point, the young ones, the young guns here was really the turning page for Ilya Protas to have 4 points, a goal, 3 assists in just his first 2 games. By the way, that
he's got more power play goals than his brother.
Already one more than his power play. And it's not just those points so far. He looks so comfortable away from the puck, too. I mean, his size, his reach, everything about him shows he belongs in his league. So let's start, John, with you specifically. Little Pro, which I guess isn't so little. little anymore. What has impressed you the most about him so far?
You know, it's easy to look at the points, and it's easy to look at, hey, you're given power play time, which, by the way, to use to good effect, to get the goal, to have a 3-point game, to be able to do what he's done offensively. All of those are wonderful things. Spencer Carberry's touched on it, and if you watch him away from the puck and just his decisions, his shiftiness, this is a guy who's this big and can skate, and that's a good thing. I'm not saying he doesn't, not like blazing fast, but very quick, and to be able to use that skill and be able to have a head for the game. And again, 19 years old. Cole Hudson, 19 years old. I mean, it's amazing to have this kind of impact. Mm-hmm. And I want to give a little bit of love to Justin Sortif too, because although we're not talking about him as much, but if you took what he's done in the second half of the season,
when PLD was out,
if you just took his second half of the season and prorated it out over a whole year, that's a 55-point season.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what we have next year, is that what he's going to be, a 50 to 60-point guy? My goodness, and the skating that he shows. This team needed to get quicker. They needed to get faster. They are still shopping for a top 6 forward, and we're going to be talking about that when we get to summertime. But they found a lot of pieces here that they home grew and drafted, and we're starting to see that really start to come to life here.
You know what I really like about Ilya Protas? How long has it been since the Capitals had a very skilled net front guy on the power play? Mm-hmm. It's been a while.
Been a bit.
That goal that he scored on the power play, where he patiently waited for Villadar to go down and open his pads, and then he stuffed it right. That reminded me of Mike Knuble, like that quick hands, big body in front of the net. It's been a long time. I want to say he's got 10 power play goals.
Wait till he fills out a little bit. Good luck moving him at the top of the crease.
I was listening to the broadcast. They listed him at 198 pounds, and Alexei's like, what, 240-ish? So, think about he's going to put on 30 more pounds at some point. Yeah, he's going to get to – I don't know if he's going to get as big as Alexei, but he's going to get close.
He's going to be a load to handle at the top of the crease.
You look at 19-year-olds and they come into the league and you see their forearms, and then you see them 2 years later and their forearms are like this. Some of it is lifting weights and the better nutrition up here, but some of it is just nature.
Yeah.
You can only get so big at 19.
Well, we talk so much about those young guys, the 19-year-olds, the teenagers, but every time Monumental puts a graphic up, too, you forget that you have guys like Alexei and even Connor McMichael, who just turned 25. Those two in particular maybe got off to slower starts than they would have liked. I know some injuries were involved this year as well. But in Pittsburgh, Alexei Protas hits the 25-goal mark. 2 more goals from Connor McMichael. I feel like I've interviewed him post-game on radio the past 3 out of 4 games because he's really been heating up. Yeah. So if those guys can at least end the season on a strong note, McMichael telling me the confidence is back. He said he'd be the first to tell you that at one point he was mad at himself when he should have been contributing to this team in the middle of the year. He wasn't, but we're seeing him start to heat back up. Alexei Protas found his groove again. So if those guys, sort of the leaders of the young pack, can go into next season like that, what does that do for everyone collectively as that young group?
I feel like you start thinking ahead to next year and how and where this team can improve. We've talked about this before. I mean, you look at the free agent market, the best players have already re-signed with their teams. Mm-hmm. Everyone is going to be looking to swing a big hockey trade this summer, which is going to make it very difficult. The way this team improves is they got to have the under 24 crowd take a big step forward. That's how they get better next year. Regardless of what Alex Ovechkin does, you're going to need Cole Hudson to be a 60-point guy. You're going to need Justin Sortis to become a 40 to 50-point guy. You're going to need Ryan Leonard, who scored 20 goals as a rookie this year and cashed in a $250,000 bonus for getting to 20 goals.
I was trying to figure in the room in Pittsburgh why he was smiling so big, and I figured it out pretty quick as I was walking out. Yeah, that's a nice day.
He's going to pull up in a much nicer car soon. But you're going to need him to become a 30-goal scorer, a 32, 35-goal scorer, and you're going to see that. So you need Ilya Protas. I mean, you don't want to make too big of a deal out of a handful of games. But I'm pretty sure he has shown this coaching staff and this management group, I'm not an up and down guy next year. I'm on your roster guy next year.
It. Yeah, I said it over the weekend. He's seen Hershey Park Drive for the last time. He's going to be here.
He can start looking for a place to live. I think
he can start scouting the Beltway.
Yeah.
Well, guys, once again, just an incredible week to see. No matter what happens, the future is so bright with this team. A lot of fun. And, John, as you said, how can you not love the Protas brothers? Their parents have done an incredible job raising them. I had the pleasure of sitting down with Ilya after his debut in Toronto. Well, Ilya, thank you so much for joining the show today after what has been such an exciting week for you, making your NHL debut. Take us through that night back in Toronto when you stepped on the ice for your rookie lap and what was going through your head there.
Oh, first I was not too full and had a good rookie lap, but yeah, obviously was nervous for a bit, and it took me a couple of shifts to get in the game, and it was pretty easy to get to the room because guys was really getting a warm welcome, and was really happy to be a part of the room, and get the thing going was a big part of it. And the first couple of shifts, how I said before, we were nervous, but then kind of started adjusting for a game, and it was a fun game overall.
Over 16 minutes of ice time in that first game for you. As the game went on, how did you adjust? What did you do to sort of calm those nerves?
Just started with a simple game, and focusing on kind of little details, and just was trying to do and what coach wanted me to do, and I was just trying to focus on my next shift and just focus on a simple 200-foot game.
I had to laugh because just a few weeks ago, Cole Hudson makes his NHL debut, and he had the empty netter. You could see Connor McMichael saying, "Shoot it, do not pass to me." And then on the flip side, Hudson takes the empty net before he sees that you're right behind him. And I think that was a look on his face afterwards, being like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know you were there." But to still pick up an assist on that, pick up your first NHL point. Of course, your big brother grabbed the puck right away. What's it mean to be on the score sheet immediately and you get that one out of the way?
Yeah, it's special for sure. And he said sorry, but there is no way he apologized. He scored it all day, and I hope I'm gonna score my first and soon. And it's alright. He scored. That's what I think that's what we're gonna do, and there's no doubt about it. And that's pretty special. We get the same point and Hardy's goal, and I was really happy about it.
Your brother assisting on it as well. So cool to see both of your names side by side on the score sheet. But I think my favorite was a little video clip of your brother and then Tom Wilson on the other side, both giving you hugs. One you're related to, one you're not. But you could tell just how much Tom, and I'm sure the rest of the team, has supported you through this. How much does, and Alex Ovechkin right here too, watching your first interview, how much does it mean to know you have the support of everyone here on this team?
It's cool and real special, and was nervous, how I said before, and obviously was but really fun, and was nervous and special. Get to share that moment with brother and obviously Tom, because I get in their lineup, and I was nervous to play, especially with Tom. When if I'm gonna make mistake, I know my bro are not gonna be that mad, and especially Tom, because how big he is as a leader and as a player, and I was nervous about it.
Last one for you. I know your parents were able to watch back home, both of you. I think it was 2:30 in the morning back there. But how about Alice, your little niece, who I know loves you so much? She's so excited that you're staying with her family right now. What was she like when she saw Uncle Ilya out there playing with her dad?
Yeah, she was happy. I'm coming and staying with them, and it's really cool too. Really thankful for I can spend time with the family. We live there, and it's really cool, and it's special.
Well, Ilya, thank you for your time. Congratulations again, and good luck this week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate Ilya's time last week. And guys, I truly laughed out loud after Pittsburgh when he got interviewed after his great game, and he said something along the lines of, he was asked about playing with Alex Ovechkin, and he said, "Even when I do bad, it's still Ovi yelling at me, so I'm still so happy." Like, how can you not be happy when the greatest goal scorer is the one yelling at you, telling you the mistakes you're making? I mean, I think that
Great
right there
perspective.
perfectly sums up the
Takes criticism well, apparently.
the perspective of this team. But all in all, safe to say that he is in great hands, and we are so happy to have him as a Capital. But guys, this is it. We've come down to the final week. The Capitals have put themselves in a position to still be alive right here on this Monday morning. What's your final thoughts of everything going into this week?
I don't know if I'm going to watch the game or if I'm just going to check the box score or hit refresh every once in a while, because
I'm watching.
I don't know. I don't know if I can take it. Maybe if it's close and it's third period. I don't know. I'll see. But look, what concerns me is Carolina. Yeah, they're playing for something. They're trying to win the conference, but they might start resting guys. That concerns me a little bit. The Flyers are playing for everything. They've got to keep the Caps behind them. So Montreal's still playing for something. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm hoping the Caps get in.
I'm going to give you my roadmap here.
Okay.
Here we
All right.
go.
Here's my roadmap. Yeah, the odds are long, okay? You got to have two things happen that you don't control. That's not good, right? But if Philadelphia loses tonight, I say throw the doors open and reckless abandon. This is why. Columbus will be out if they get, and even if Columbus is in, it doesn't matter. They haven't played well, and the Capitals are going to be all fired up if they know the door's open. But see, here's the thing. Tonight, Carolina has very little to play for. Tomorrow, Montreal could be playing for home ice. If it breaks right, they might be playing for a division title. There's still a lot in play to the final day for Montreal. The Canadiens are a very good team. They are going to be fired up. And oh, by the way, the Philadelphia Flyers haven't made the playoffs in 6 years. They don't have anybody in that room, very few guys in that room who have been there, hey, calm the nerves, all that. You've got a bunch of guys who haven't been there before, and if they lose, they're going to start to feel it. It's going to shift. Right now, it's in the Flyers' favor, no question. But when it'll slide all the way over here, and now they're feeling it. All the Capitals do. You win.
Pressure's a real thing, man.
Pressure's a real thing. And oh my God, we're not going to lose in Game 82 and let this slip through our fingers. Are we?
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah.
They might. I say that if it goes right tonight, it's going to go right tomorrow, and we'll see you in Pittsburgh on the weekend. How about that?
I mean,
we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah,
you can talk
I
if
would
you
say
want, but
if you're the NHL, do you want Pittsburgh, Philly, or do you want Pittsburgh, Washington?
Sid and Ovi again for a playoff series. 1,000%.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. Well, guys, this has been so much fun. I hope this is not our last Monday show, because hopefully what you said is exactly what happened, and we are back here next week. But thank you all so much. Wonderful insight, like always. So for John and Tark, I'm Katie Florio saying so long. Have a great week, everybody. It's an exciting one.
Go.